Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving into the dirt with one of the most historically revered and biologically fascinating plants you can grow right in your own backyard, chamomile. We are going to take this from a tiny, practically invisible seed all the way to a flourishing, fragrant sanctuary.
But before we get our hands dirty, think about this. Did you know this humble little herb can completely transform your landscape? Yeah, most of us just think of chamomile as that sleepy time tea sitting in the back of the pantry, right? But out in the garden, it is a botanical powerhouse with a totally surprising dual nature. Depending on the exact variety you plant, it can be a low-maintenance, earth-friendly lawn substitute that literally releases a fresh apple scent when you walk on it, or a medicinal crop that yields this stunning, bright blue essential oil. It's totally wild, and we're going to break it all down.
So here is our Seed to Sanctuary roadmap for today. We'll start by looking at the 2 true chamomiles, cover planting in ideal conditions, explore companions and pests, nail down the perfect harvest time, and wrap up with its uses, benefits, and some important safety tips.
All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, the 2 true chamomiles, German versus Roman.
Now, there are a ton of botanical imposters out there, stuff like pineapple weed or dog fennel, but medicinally speaking, there are only 2 true chamomiles used worldwide. First up is German chamomile. This is your annual workhorse. It stands upright, maybe 12 to 24 inches tall with branching stems. Then you've got Roman chamomile. This one's a perennial, and it grows entirely differently. It creeps along the ground like a 12-inch mat and gives off that amazing apple scent I mentioned. Now, if you're ever out in the field holding a flower and wondering which one it is, here's a pro tip straight from our sources. Just gently press the yellow center of the flower. If it yields and squishes like a soft, hollow cushion, it's German. But if it feels like a solid, firm dome, you've got Roman. It's kind of a neat little party trick.
Moving right along to Section 2, planting and ideal conditions. Time to get our hands dirty.
Figuring out which variety you have is absolutely crucial, because honestly, they want completely different things from you. German chamomile? It's a survivor. It actually thrives in poor, sandy, or rocky dirt. It can even handle highly alkaline soils up to a pH of 9 in some places, though it really prefers hovering around 6.0 to 7.5. Roman chamomile, on the other hand, is a bit more demanding. It evolved in cool maritime climates, so it wants rich, loamy soil with a slightly more acidic pH. Think 5.5 to 7.0. If you try sticking Roman chamomile in heavy clay without any sand or compost to break it up, it's going to suffer from crown rot almost immediately. But the one thing they both absolutely insist on? Well-drained soil. That's non-negotiable.
Okay, so when you're actually ready to plant, keep in mind these seeds are tiny. I'm talking practically dust-like. You'll want to surface sow them outdoors about 1 to 2 weeks before your last frost date. But here is the biggest takeaway for your planting day. Do not bury these seeds. I really can't stress this enough. Chamomile seeds literally require light to germinate. You just want to scatter them thinly and press them ever so gently into the moist earth so they make good contact. Keep that top layer damp and you should see little sprouts popping up in about 7 to 14 days.
Once they're established, though, you've got to fight your own gardening instincts. Do not overcare for them. Remember, these plants evolved in drought-prone meadows. Overwatering is without a doubt the fastest way to sabotage your whole crop. Soggy, waterlogged dirt triggers devastating root rot, nasty fungal stuff like fusarium or pythium, and it can happen in just 48 hours. So, do the finger test. Check the soil 2 inches down. If it feels cool and damp, step away from the watering can. Trust me, they'll thank you.
Which brings us to Section 3, companions and pest control. Let's look at the broader garden ecosystem.
Chamomile is the ultimate team player in the garden. It is a fantastic companion plant because it acts like a beacon for hoverflies and parasitic wasps, which are exactly the kind of good guys you want hunting down pests. It pairs beautifully with onions, beans, and very specific crops like annuello raspberries or blacktail mountain melons. But you've got to be strategic. Whatever you do, keep your chamomile far, far away from mint. Mint is highly invasive and it will just choke out your chamomile. Plus, some gardeners actually report that mint steals the chamomile's scent. Fennel is another bad neighbor. And here's a weird one. While chamomile is generally great for brassicas like broccoli or kale, if you plant them too close together, like under 12 inches, the chamomile can actually stunt their growth.
Now, as robust as it is, chamomile isn't totally invincible. There are a few villains to watch out for. You might see aphids clustering up the stems or thrips leaving these silver streaks on your petals. Slugs are also a total nightmare. They absolutely love devouring tender young seedlings. And if your garden is super humid or the plants are way too overcrowded, you might run into fungal issues. Keep an eye out for powdery mildew, which literally looks like someone dusted your plants with flour, or botrytis blight, which rots the center of the plant into this gross gray fuzz.
But check this out. Our research turned up this incredibly elegant, completely organic solution for those fungal issues. Are your seedlings struggling? You can actually use chamomile to protect chamomile. It sounds crazy, but the plant has natural antifungal and antibacterial properties built right in. So you just brew a mild, pale yellow chamomile tea, let it cool down completely, and mist it directly onto your plants and the surrounding soil. It's a brilliant, all-natural way to maintain a healthy ecosystem and keep mold at bay.
All right, let's talk about the reward for all this hard work. Section 4. Harvesting your chamomile. Timing is everything.
You really have to hit the sweet spot here. Don't harvest too early, and definitely don't harvest too late. If you pick them when they're tight, green buds, you're getting basically negligible essential oil. But if you wait until those white petals are drooping and curling downward toward the stem, the beneficial compounds have already oxidized, which leaves you with a bitter taste and way less potency. What you want to look for, and seriously, grab a magnifying glass if you need to, is when the white petals are held out perfectly flat and that yellow center looks plump, raised, and densely packed. That is your golden window.
And the time of day you head out with your basket matters immensely too. Always, always pick your chamomile in the morning, but specifically after the morning dew is completely evaporated. Why? Well, the sun hasn't had a chance to bake the volatile essential oils out of the flower heads yet, meaning the concentration of all those amazing therapeutic compounds is at its absolute daily peak. Plus, the flowers are dry enough that you can start the curing process immediately without worrying about them turning into a moldy mess in storage.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 5, Uses, Benefits, and Safety. From garden to cup.
Chamomile is an absolute treasure trove of chemistry. We are talking over 120 chemical constituents identified in these little flowers. The big hitters? It acts as a mild sedative, which is why it's so famous for promoting mental relaxation and better sleep. But it's also incredibly effective at soothing digestive issues and stomach cramps. Beyond that, it packs some serious anti-inflammatory and natural antiseptic properties, largely thanks to a heavy-hitting compound called alpha-bisabolol. Oh, and out in the yard, like we said, it's a total magnet for beneficial pollinators. And here is one of the most visually mind-blowing facts from our research. If you actually distill the essential oil of German chamomile, you'd probably expect it to be yellow or maybe clear, right? Nope, it is a stunning, deep, bright blue. This vivid color comes from a compound called chamomile. Now, chamomile is technically an artifact. It's formed from something called matricine during the heat of the distillation process itself. It's highly prized in cosmetics, perfumery, and aromatherapy because its anti-inflammatory effects are just off the charts. Now, as amazing as all this is, it's absolutely vital we talk about safety. While chamomile is widely recognized as a very safe herb, there are definitely exceptions. If you happen to be allergic to plants in the Asteraceae family, so we're talking daisies, ragweed, chrysanthemums, or marigolds, you might actually get an allergic reaction or contact dermatitis from chamomile. Also, medical sources specifically advise against using it if you're pregnant. We are here to break down the science and the source material for you, so please always consult with a medical professional before you start using herbal remedies for health conditions. And hey, if you want to dive even deeper into botanical safety, checking out your local university extension office or a reputable herbalism guide is a fantastic next step.
So, there you have it, a complete roadmap from seed to sanctuary. From identifying the hollow cushion of a German chamomile flower to mastering the exact timing of a morning harvest, you now have the actionable insights you need to confidently grow this incredible plant. So the final question is, are you ready to carve out a sunny, well-drained patch of dirt and start your very own chamomile journey? If you are, or if you're already growing it, jump into the comments and share your experiences. We would love to hear how it's going. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next explainer.